Welcome to the Nielsen Ratings, my weekly show at 10 o'clock UK time, 5 p.m. East Coast. And boy, do we have a few topics to get stuck into tonight. I'm 5 episodes into a television drama, which I can tell is already, it's one of those that I just know is going to have a profound effect on me as an individual. And I kind of wish it had been made sooner, but we'll get into that in a little bit. I've got my usual panel of retrobates. I'm going to moan at the Gourd King, who is streaming at the same time as me with a show about spy movies, which I should be on because I love spy films. But I love my buddy the Gourd, so it's all good. If I finish before he does, I'm going to jump on. But anyway, in the interim, Evil Pumpkin Man. Yeah, I know. You'd think Michael Cera has enough money. In the interim, I'm going to assemble my lineup. First of all, my fellow Englishman. It's the Northern English Bastard.
Evening, all.
How are you, sir?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good. Busy week with script stuff, and I'm seeing a good friend tomorrow who I haven't seen in person since the summer of 2022. So it's going to be a bit of a reunion. That doesn't sound like that long ago, but it feels like it. So yeah, and then got a busy week ahead as well. But good. And of course I've got my interview tomorrow night with Peter Murnick, which we'll get into again later.
Enjoy yourselves.
We're going full purple at the tonight. As you can see, it's funny actually, man, because you look like at the minute you've got Griselda's boobs with where you're positioned on the screen there.
Well, it's something to play with when I get bored.
There you go. Next, it's the man with the what appears to be like a baby's dummy in the background. Not quite sure. Possibly an upside down Zoom ice lolly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You know, you can sit there and put all the makeup on you want on her, but you can't make up those things. That's natural. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara was very good in the role. I will say that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that show as well. Last but by no means least, the man who made sure that my sand timer is always within reach. Mr. Penzo's in the house. King of karaoke. How are you, sir?
Doing awesome.
Excellent.
How about you guys? Are you too hungover from last night?
Maybe.
Celebrating Black History Month on my channel. That was fun.
We celebrate, all right. Not as much as
I mean, we ogled at Black Betty's for a while. There's some cute. But I mean, it was fun. How about you, Lance?
Yeah,
I was Blazing Saddles.
I was on the Blazing Saddles stream until like 4 a.m. But I had to be on that stream because I do really like it.
We definitely heard parts of it, all right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I watched some of it last night. I just watched some of it earlier while I was doing slides for my stream for Friday. Yeah.
Did you see my classic exit from the show? I'm not sure I'll.
No, I ain't got that far yet. Oh, yeah.
You need.
But
you
did
need,
have
you,
some.
Yeah. You need to watch.
As soon as Canoli said the most racist stream tonight, I was like, yeah, you got me there. You got me, man.
It's yeah. I mean, it was a fun stream. It was good. Now it's really interesting watching the film again. I mean, I've seen it before, but it was interesting sort of watching it again, knowing I was going to be talking about it. So I kind of looked at it with more of a critical eye and in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
But really enjoyed that. I like Canoli's Monday night things are always fun.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that the time difference for me is a bit of a killer. And then you guys are doing a stream right after this, right?
We have to figure out time to get you on because I know it's hard your sleep schedule. But yeah, we're doing we're starting off February with the classic. I mean, start off February with a good one, Groundhog Day. So.
Yeah, man. I'm going to watch some more of one of the shows I'm going to be talking about. So I don't know how big the gap is between this ending and you beginning. I might come on for a little bit.
Yeah. Your schedule was already screwed up from yesterday. Come on, man.
I'm good. Don't worry, Mike. I go to bed every night at 4 a.m. At the earliest. So
Okay.
my body clock's been on that time for quite a while, so it really isn't going to make any difference whether I come on the show or not. I'm still going to be awake until that time. So we got a few different things to talk about tonight. I'm gonna talk about something. I'm gonna make the first topic a bit lighter. Who's seen this new Netflix ninja show trailer?
Oh, you showed.
Oh, the one that's called Ninjas.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You guys know, like, I don't want to sound like a nerd because I know it's like there's nothing nerdier than like a dude learning Japanese. I don't know Japanese, but I do know that the plural for ninja is ninja. It's not ninjas. It's like fish. It's like deer. Ninja.
Fishes.
So the fact that the title is grammatically incorrect is just hilarious to me. Is what I'm getting at.
Okay, that's pretty funny. So yeah, the show's called House of Ninjas. Is there anyone who hasn't seen the trailer?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
I saw you share it.
Oh, I watched it.
Okay, right. So anyone who hasn't watched it, including my panel members, please watch it now. Here's the link, because it is only 3 minutes. So
you could probably get away with showing. I thought you were going to show it here on the show.
Well, we can. I mean, we could. I can bring it up, but I won't have any audio because the only place I've got it is on YouTube. So, and also, I have a feeling I might get.
Do you want me to share it, buddy?
You share it, buddy. You go for it. You go for it. But I don't know. Can we show it with the audio? White ninjas in the house.
I mean, I'm sure if I pause it every once in a while, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah,
I mean,
you might get the Outcast creatives.
Yeah, you might get a bogus.
It's the Outcasts, plural, creative.
Yeah,
we're all outcasts, but we're all creative.
True.
All right, let's see what I got here. Present, share, entire audio. Check. Okay, let's see. It should be down there. Ooh, Sandy Q's here. So is Keith.
Thank you. Hey,
Sandy.
Okay. Welcome, everyone.
Good to see you. Yeah. All right. Here we go. So,
all right. Here we go. Let's see here. House of Ninjas. It really sounds like when you unsheath a sword. This is what it sounds like. Are you ready?
Well, it depends. Is that a euphemism? Something?
He's actually got one.
Listen to how quiet this is. When you hear more like a wood sound.
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't sound cool though, would it? That's the thing.
You see it all the time in movies.
It's not as filmically cool or dramatic. Exactly. Besides, is that sort of Hanzo Tessori?
It's true.
Looks fun.
So I'm gonna stuff the Asians to do.
I'm gonna add it to the 20 watch list.
You're going to stuff those Asians.
Yeah. They're producing some good, good movies and TV shows, I should say, specifically.
You just put your act the way you said it.
Some of my favorite movies are Japanese.
That was borderline iffy there, man. Stop trying to get me ratioed already. So anyway.
It just sounded like a little patronizing, like, oh, they make some good movies, those guys.
For anyone watching,
I didn't mean so. What the hell?
We're just busting.
I was being genuine.
Northern's already on 2 strikes, so it's he's out.
Well, yeah, it looks cool. I'm gonna keep jamming my music now.
Yeah, I think it looks good. It looks good. It looks fun. It looks big. It looks epic. It's got high production.
Yeah.
Value.
I just, I really need to know. The runtime is so important to me. If it's like an hour and 20 minutes, great. 90 minutes, better. If it's 785 minutes, it's like, dude, chill, please. With the 10-episode, 10-hour-long shows, man.
Considering you watch shows at double the speed, it shouldn't affect you, though.
I shouldn't have to watch shows at double speed, In fact, that's how I'm starting to gauge my interest. I started a movie. I don't know. Maybe I could just kind of kick it off. But I saw a movie 3 nights ago that blew my mind, and I loved it. And Lance might know about it. But what was interesting is like I started them out as double speed, and if it's interesting, I'll like slow it down. And eventually, if I start to watching at one speed, at normal speed, I'm like, okay, it has my interest. This movie was written by and starring Peter Capaldi, 1993. It's a English rom-com road trip movie. It's called Soft Top Hard Shoulder. Have you heard of this movie?
I saw it at the cinema.
I loved it. I thought it was very charming, and I thought it resonated to me on a personal level. It's just one of those tiny movies that has lots to say. It was very autobiographical. I have like newfound respect for Peter Capaldi. Also, the fact that the young lady that's his road trip companion is his real life wife, even today. And it's also one of these movies that looks so good. Sorry, go ahead.
Let's start with that and do it as one of our, because I always like to try and mention at least one oldie. But before we do that, just for entertainment purposes, would you believe this, Northern? There is actually a House of Ninjas Limited registered with Company's House in the London, UK.
Jesus.
Which I find incredible. It's nothing to do with the TV show, but I was trying to find if they had a wiki page so I could see exactly how many episodes there are, because IMDb isn't giving us that information. But I final note on that show. I do want to see it. I think it looks interesting. Looks like it could be fun. So we'll see. I think 6 episodes. I think it's 6 episodes. I think that's 1 hour. That works for me. So yeah, soft top, hard shoulder. All right. Where did you see that?
It was just I don't know. I guess a Blu-ray of it came out in 2020, so I saw it floating around on the internet being like promoted, and I was like, "What is this?" And and it's funny because there's a really crappy like VHS transfer on YouTube that's 4:3 aspect ratio. But watching it in Blu-ray, it's one of those movies that like it's like the early 90s where they're doing the 80s like perfectly. Like the 80s have been like distilled. Everyone's wearing like shirts and suits and jackets. Everyone's like, I don't know. There's that really crisp, like Panavision look it has, and it's also ultra widescreen. It just looked really good. It looked and sounded way better than it needed to for what the tiny little movie it was.
Is Elaine Collins Peter Capaldi's wife?
Right. Yeah.
On the right. Okay.
Yes.
I saw Frances Barber's in this film as well. And I haven't seen it since I saw it at the cinema in 1992.
Yeah, so what it's about is Peter Capaldi's a Italian Scottish guy. His family's from Italy. His grandfather came to Italy, came to Scotland from Italy, and married a Scotswoman and started an ice cream empire. They sell ice cream, and their father sells the company. And I don't know, Peter
Isn't
Capaldi.
there 2 like rival families?
No, you're thinking
the
of
ice cream thing. Is that? Am I getting my movie? I know. I saw this.
You're thinking of a different movie. I know which one you're thinking of. Oh God, that'll come to me later. But no, in this one, it's like Peter Capaldi is an artistic younger son, and he moves to London, and because he's an artist, he's not like the rest of his family. And he finds out like a few years later, fast forward 7 or 8 years later, he's broke, living with some flatmate. He owes him money. And basically his uncle comes and visits him and says, hey, we want to see you. Your dad wants to see you. He's got all this money from selling the factory. Basically, he could help you out if you just come and visit him for your birthday. And he's kind of like, I don't know, I want to say like an agoraphobe. He has an 8-hour road trip ahead of him, and it's very daunting. And also his car is kind of a POS. So it's kind of one of these road trips where it's like a lot of hurdles, and he ends up picking up this young hitchhiker girl. And they kind of have like a romance. And
it's a
story right there.
It's a road movie, effectively. Most of the film. No, I remember which one it is now.
I'm gonna try to remember what movie you're thinking of, though.
Yeah, no, the one I'm thinking of. I remember that the end of the movie. The end of that movie ends with them coming up with putting ice cream in batter and both agreeing to sell and split the profits on it, and it is to do with like this kind of ice cream war. And there was actually an ice cream war in Scotland between 2 rival families, both of whom had ice cream vans, and people were killed over it. People were murdered.
That sounds awesome. That's like the title of the movie, The Ice Cream Wars.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean
think
there
it
is a
would be a lot of fun.
documentary. There's a documentary series called that about the real thing. You can track it down. It's out there. Soft top, hard shoulder, 1992. If you want to see a
Yeah.
young, virile-looking Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just a very charming little quaint little movie. A good old throwback.
What would you give it out of 10?
Oh, a solid 8, solid 9. Especially for like what they did with such a limited yeah, it's one of those movies where it's like, it's a very decent script, it's very low budget, or it doesn't need to be high budget, and yet you have a really good camera, and it makes the whole movie so much better. And also there's a really great soundtrack too. And even though they play the soft top hard shoulder song a few times, they play it like 3 times, I think, in the movie. Once at the beginning, once in the middle, once at the end, and doesn't overdo it. It was good. It was like a good theme.
It's interesting because Jeremy Northam is in it, who I've met.
Yeah. He's like the roommate that he owes money to. He's like, look, I know you're low on cash and you're not going to have the rent, but just make sure you have something soon, okay? I'm going to need something.
Yeah.
Very patronizing.
Simon Callow I've also met as well. Very nice man. Of course, most people will know him from Four Weddings and a Funeral.
White Bear. The ice cream wars were a long, rocky road.
They were indeed, man. And that long, rocky road was sprinkled with hundreds and thousands of difficult challenges.
Don't get that, Sandy. That was legit funny. Okay.
Phyllis Logan, I've also met. She was in a play with a friend of mine. Really lovely lady. So yeah, I remember when I went to see this film. I came out of it. And it was like, yeah, that was kind of interesting. And then I just completely forgot about it. It was good, but I thought it was forgettable because clearly
like I never heard of it, and I'm sure I think one of the reasons I really liked it a lot was like personally, I was like seeing a lot of like similarities in my life going on in this movie, like metaphorically. I was like, oh wow.
Oh. Hey, we've got an extra guest with us tonight. The Inside Man is here.
Hello.
Oh, what up?
Hey.
Hello.
Normally,
how's it going?
So for our Masters of the Air streams, but yeah. So all right, soft top, hard shoulder. Did you Inside Man? Did you see that when it came out with Peter Capaldi?
No, I didn't. No, sorry.
Yeah.
I recommend it. It was a sweet little road trip film. Warms your heart.
Yeah.
Gonna mention this next one briefly because obviously I'm reviewing it and I'm talking about it on other nights and stuff. Next review will be on Friday, but of course we had episode 3 of Masters of the Air, me and the Inside Man and History Bro, along with Blue Collar, already did a bit of a deep dive on it. But Northern and Enzo, have you seen episode 3 yet?
I'm waiting. I'm gonna binge it, and I'm gonna hop on one of these later weeks. Although I gotta say, I was proud of Blue Collar for not embarrassing America on that stream the other day.
Damn right.
You did good, boy. You did good.
Yeah, he did really good. He did really good.
Northern, what did you think of episode 3?
I think it was a little bit the same as the other 2, but it does start to look like shit is really going down now. Like the danger is cranking up. We're seeing more faces more faces are dying off as well. And I have a feeling it's going to be like Game of Thrones, where you're going to start getting attached to some people, and they're going to die because it's one of those. It's definitely one of those things. It's a war, isn't it?
Well, I'm pretty sure that the navigator guy in the middle of the poster there is going to make it, seeing as he's narrating the show retrospectively.
Yeah, he probably will.
I'm pretty sure that Austin Butler and Callum Turner's characters are going to make it. But
but we saw that these other lads, like one was trapped in the gunner section.
Yeah, that was...
and he couldn't get him out, and he's like, "I'm sorry, friend," and he just jumps out and lets him die because. Yeah, what else was he going to do?
It was either they were both going to die.
I know.
Or man.
Yeah, that was quite horrific. I thought, and it kind of caught me unaware, really. And it's sort of it was one of those moments where I sort of went, oh shit, I brought a bit of a lump to my throat, to be honest with you, because that this is absolutely true.
Yeah, you don't judge him either, because you'd be thinking. Would Abdul the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have even stopped and talked to him. I would have got a head start and got straight out. So overall, it's good. It's interesting to read people's criticisms. I mean, obviously, I'll give my overview of the show when it's finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've just got a text from Jason Flemyng, funnily enough.
Bring him on.
We hear a Star Trek theme song.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. All right, let's get to Griselda then. I've already got the IMDb page ready over here. There it is. So very much a vehicle for its star, Sofia Vergara, and even with all the makeup trying to make her look a fractionally less attractive.
Yeah, really.
I mean, this is.
They failed.
I actually think that had she still been alive, the real life Griselda would probably have been quite happy with Sofia Vergara in this role. Okay, brief rundown before we hear opinions. It's a 5-part, I want to say 5-part drama. I think it's 5 or 6. Each episode's just under an hour. True story of Miami's kind of one of the big players in 80s and 90s Miami in terms of importing cocaine. She was originally from I think Colombia. Kind of got involved
70s
in
and 80s.
One drug organization, ended up kind of taking it over, wanted to be her own person. And at the beginning of the show, you kind of respect her, you like her because she's a woman making it her way in very much a man's world, both culturally and of the time. And she becomes more and more brutal, but more and more paranoid. And I think the irony is that she could have actually been much more successful if she had managed to not get high on her own supply. So she clearly didn't watch Scarface. So my take on this show is a little bit mixed. Vergara is good. It's actually probably one of her best performances. Great to see her in something completely different from Modern Family. All the ugly makeup and scarring in the world is not going to make this woman look ugly. The real Griselda was nowhere near as attractive as this.
Yeah, I've seen pictures.
Yeah, so have I. And, I accidentally took a replica one of those to the United States and didn't even know my bag. That was hugely entertaining. I'll tell you that story later. So anyway, there's a good supporting cast. The period production stuff is done really well. You can see in this shot alone all the period correct cars, even the buses. Good production design. It's got a very kind of professional, warm veneer that kind of catches that 80s pop style, etc., etc., etc. But for me, it's better than okay. It's definitely in the kind of 7 to 8 out of 10. It's a good show, but not a great show for me. I don't know if I don't know what was missing. And I'm trying to think of how it could be. It just wasn't as captivating as, let's say, Narcos. Narcos for me had a much stronger narrative, dramatic rhythm. This one kind of tried to do the same thing, and it was hitting the mark occasionally, and then other times it wasn't hitting the mark. I felt like they probably could have. The story is so nuts anyway. I think they probably could have played around with the facts a bit to just make the show a bit more cohesive, maybe. But yeah, overall, I really liked it. Watched it straight through. It was pretty interesting. Kept me gripped, but I wasn't immediately thinking, damn, I need to own the Blu-ray of this one day. Whereas season 1 of Narcos, I was thinking that. So yeah, overall for me, a good show. But of an interesting period of history. But it didn't quite hit the high notes that maybe I was expecting. Blue, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was a very entertaining show, and I was liking it a lot. And then talking to Enzo last night, I didn't know, it's very, very, I guess, historically inaccurate, which now makes it more interesting. I kind of I almost want to, I wouldn't say rewatch it, but skim over it again now because I was enjoying it. And like you said, it's like there's something with Narcos and Pedro Pascal and the guy who played Pablo that just Narcos season 1 and 2 are just so fantastic. This is not as good, but I did, like you said, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't see myself watching it again anytime soon, but it was a good look at history. But then it's also a problem is it's not really a good look at history after what Enzo told me last night. So I did like it though.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it too. I liked it. It was like I say, it's a good show for me. Maybe not a great show, but a good show. Yeah. So Northern.
Yeah, I've only watched 2 episodes because I just couldn't get into it. Sofia Vergara is good, but she could have been a lot better because the real Griselda Blanco was apparently a downright psychopath who not only killed people because they looked at her wrong or crossed her, but sometimes for the hell of it.
Right.
And it would have been really good to have seen Sofia Vergara play that, just get really intense, be really mean and nasty, show that she really does have some range and she's not just the funny, sexy mum from Modern Family.
They were probably trying to play the character for sympathy a little bit too much, maybe.
Yeah. I don't think this is a character that needs to be sympathetic. You know, let her be terrifying, let her be intense, let her be violent, mean and nasty, but engaging at the same time.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. Enzo, I know you've got some comments.
This show was effing bullsh. I hated it. It was downright offensive with how inaccurate it was. I can talk about this show for several hours, but I'm going to keep it to just a couple minutes.
Hang on, audio. It depends. Your audio's you got a major crackle.
Yeah, it sounds like it's.
I turned my microphone off. I'm so sorry. It's because I was like farting and stuff earlier. I forgot. Forgive me. I'm just kidding.
You never have to turn off your mic for that on my channel.
Sorry. This show was effing bullsh. I hated the show. It was totally terrible. The historical inaccuracies were so flagrant. It is like downright offensive. Now, myself personally, I am very interested in the story of Pablo Escobar, the cocaine cowboys, Griselda Blanco. Now, I would compare the two, Pablo Escobar and Griselda Blanco, to like Mount Everest and Mountain K2. One of them is bigger and more prolific and famous, but the other one is like way more deadly. K2 will kill you. Griselda Blanco was the most brutal drug trafficker to have ever entered the game. And what's so even crazier is they paint her in this, like they did the Maleficent Cruella treatment with her, where they basically make it seem like, okay, she kills her husband, she gets wounded, and then she goes to Miami as like a last-ditch effort. She has nothing, and she struggles like Grand Theft Auto, Scarface. You start from the bottom, you work your way up through, and you're reluctantly pulled into this like cycle of violence. That is not what's true at all. By the time she went to Miami, she first went to New York, okay? She started a huge cocaine empire in New York and waged war with mafiosos for years. And then after she was getting indicted, she was one of the first major cocaine traffickers to be indicted in the United States in the 1970s. And she then migrated to Miami, to Florida, to run away from that. And by that time, she had already amassed $500 million in wealth. And that wealth tripled within months of being in Miami. She basically infiltrated the cocaine game. And like Luke said, vicious murderer, chopping people up, putting them in suitcases, killing whole families, killing people for looking at her funny.
She killed kids. I know.
This is the thing. The show, they make it seem like, oh, do it, kill the kid, and then they show her like smoking, like all. No, she didn't care. She laughed at people dying. When she killed her husband, Albert Rivera, she was wounded, and she did go to a hospital in Cuba. Now, keep in mind, she had already been in Miami for a while before. By the time she went and had problems with her husband. She was in the hospital.
That wasn't just the reason she left either, was it? Because she was trying to take over from Pablo Escobar, but it didn't work out, and Pablo Escobar nearly destroyed her.
Yeah,
He was not
she
scared
woke
of
up.
it, despite what that title says at the beginning.
Yeah, she was wounded, right? And that's accurate. But she went to the hospital, and she woke up in the hospital with one of her shooters was with her. And she allegedly asked, like, what's up with, where is Alberto alive? And she's like, no, he's dead. And then she apparently, like, smiled and, like, went back to sleep. Like, that's the kind of woman she was. Also, what's even crazier, what's even more offensive, besides, like, trying to paint her in this, like, positive light and also making her more beautiful than she is, she should have been ugly. She should have been fat. She should have been a monster. She should have been totally evil. She should have been, like, a very compelling, very intimidating villain. And you have your heroes who are the police. And, dude,
the white cops.
Dude, what's even crazier is Bob Palumbo. Bob Palumbo. I will say this name again. Now, I'm happy he was in the show, but he's the guy who arrested her. He's the guy who tracked her down for 10 years. He's the guy who found her in Oakland, apprehended her, gave her a kiss on the cheek when she was willingly surrendering. They make it seem like she turned herself in to avoid being killed, which is not true at all. They also made it seem that the lawyers argued a reduced sentence because she was cooperating. Also not true. It's insane. It's insane to try to paint this monster of a woman in a positive light for any reason. And also the thing that sucks is, like, with cartels, usually with stories based on reality, you spice them up a little. You make them more interesting for the drama, for the show. Yeah. With cartel stories, you would have to tone it down considerably. You have to tone it down considerably. And what's even crazier about the show, because of all the violence and stuff and the wars, but June Hawkins, this Mexican girl, this Latina officer who apparently was on the scene and on the case. She was a translator. Okay. She worked for Al Singleton, the guy with the mustache, who's a gringo who doesn't speak Spanish, and he's a worthless cop. He can't do anything. Everything he can do, she can do better. They actually were partners the whole time. And then after they both retired, they ended up getting married. And, it's like, why do you not? Why?
Wow.
So they don't talk about Al Singleton. They totally, like, make him look like a totally worthless idiot. He's only in 2 episodes. And then Bob Palumbo, who, he gets no credit at all. He hands her off to the June officer, and she's the one who sits in the car with her, and they have a woman to woman. And I understand, like, thematically, it's like about these women rising up against all odds. But Bob Palumbo famously said, like, her being a woman trying to prove something to people had nothing to do with her vicious murderousness. She was just a violent psychopathic killer. That was just who she was. That was who she was raised to be. She was, she killed her first person at 11 years old. She was told to kill a boy. She shot him right in the eyes. And then she was a child prostitute by the time she was 14, and she was killing Johns regularly. Like, dude, she had a very effed up upbringing. And I don't know, this could have just been like a small, like, 1 season, get some stuff used. The fact that she gets arrested and then they sum it all up briefly after she gets arrested, dude, by the time she was in prison, she started helping create the crack business in California. She was, like, working with some gangster dude living in Oakland named Cosby. So that's a whole big, huge chapter that they left out. And then obviously they rushed some stuff with, like, her kids getting killed and all this various other things. But
I mean, I knew that had been all chopped and changed.
They make it seem like she leaves to California because some woman died and she has to hide. No, what happened was she had killed so many people that nobody wanted to do business with her, because basically if you sold cocaine to her, she didn't want to pay you. She'd kill you. If you owed her money, she'd kill you. Like, she was just killing everybody. So she was downright dangerous to a fault.
All right,
so,
the Enzo
timer. I hated the show. I hated it. We'll do a whole special on it one day.
I'm with him. That's why I didn't get past episode.
Those are fair criticisms, and I actually, you've informed me of some things that I didn't know about. So I did do digging on the real case, and I kept reading different things and was thinking, well, this wasn't in the show.
Dude, what's even effed up is if you try to search Bob Palumbo right now, all you see is June Hawkins from, like, articles from a few days ago. June Hawkins, the girl who arrested Griselda Blanco, the woman who apprehended. It's like, she had nothing to do with that. She was like a translator.
Yeah.
And this just in, Blue Collar's about to tell me something.
Oh yeah, I was checking the interwebs. Apparently, so now Gina Carano is officially suing Disney, and what makes it worse is that Elon Musk is paying for it.
No, that makes it better.
All of it. That's awesome.
Gina is suing Disney for being fired.
Yes. So she wants to, number one, be recast, and she also wants
political discrimination.
She's being she wants to be recast and compensated for her time and wages, and then brought back to her character, and
she has an open and shut case in my book.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think we should do a whole show about that. And we will. So
excited.
Yeah, I read out her condolence message for Carl Weathers. That's interesting that Elon's paying for it. Well, you know, man, we're all about the weekly news. Let's get into this.
It's right there. So
Gina Carano sues Disney from firing from The Mandalorian. Now, it wouldn't. I don't care what Carano's politics are. I don't care who she votes for.
How much you want to bet this news article does not link to her tweet where she says it all in her own words? How much you want to bet this article just kind of tries to phrase it for her?
Well, we'll go and look at her.
I won't want to bet against you.
We'll go and look at her tweet in a second. But look, let me just finish. I don't care who she votes for politically. My gripe with this has always been, doesn't matter what job you do, whether you're a cleaner or an actor or a baker or a candlestick maker, you don't get fired on Twitter. Twitter is not how you fire people. You call people into an office, you have a discussion, and then ultimately you
email them, maybe
you're letting them go. And even then you have to follow quite rigid company disciplinary procedures. And from what I know, and I have researched the topic extensively, she went through the various meetings and things that they asked her to do, and she met people from groups and things that she was asked to do. And all of that went well. And just because the Twitter mob got, they came after her even stronger. You're letting a group of no faces, probably all called Bob, living in their house on their own on their computer, dictate your company policy. This is absolute bullshit. That's not how we treat people. That's not how a professional company behaves. I don't care.
I think it goes kind of slightly deeper, doesn't it? It's all about freedoms of speech, freedom of opinion, freedom of thought. And freedom of thought, I think, is the one thing that we're starting to lose. We've already lost freedom of speech, but it's freedom of thought is the thing that I absolutely, reel at losing. Having your own opinion.
Yeah.
But this is essentially what it boils down to, and I, as with yourself, I really couldn't care less what anybody's political opinion is on anything. I really don't mind what they support, provided they're not a Nazi. But that's kind of probably where I draw the line.
Right. Well, I've got Carano's statement here. I'm going to read it out.
Yeah.
Today's an important day for me.
Worth it.
I'm filing a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney after my 20 years of building a career from scratch and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek. Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter, terminating me from The Mandalorian. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their culture and religious identities, which, by the way, she didn't do, are abhorrent and unacceptable. Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is I was being hunted down from everything I posted to every post I liked because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time. My words were constantly twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right-wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing, destroying, and making an example out of me. I could not agree more. The thing is, I never even used aggressive language. I shared thought-provoking quotes, pictures, memes, and occasionally I used my own words, not with aggression, but with respect and occasional comedy to keep the mood light in dark times. Look with your own eyes at what I posted and ask yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to the Jewish people in the Holocaust? I didn't. Ask yourself, why they were calling me a racist. Was there any merit behind that or history of it whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a transphobe for making droid noises from Star Wars. Beep, bop, boop was obviously directed to the online bullies and did not in any way denigrate transgender people. Were my questions about masks, lockdown, and forced vaccines okay to ask and push the subject to light? Yeah, well, we should always question policy. Doesn't matter where you stand on that debate. Always ask questions. Should we have been allowed to... Sorry, let me
question
finish.
everything.
Absolutely. Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss these topics at the time without being harassed or censored? Yeah, absolutely. Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination, but I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech? Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter into employment. I've spoken to my co-stars since I was fired, and there is nothing but care and kind words between us. I respect their right to free speech, and I do not have to think the same on every issue to be their friends and work with them, and I know they feel the same towards me. Indeed, as is the case with my guest. A couple of months ago, Elon Musk tweeted that if you had been fired from using the platform X for exercising your right to free speech, he would like to offer these people legal representation. Quite the noble offer. But never in my wildest dreams would I have thought anyone would have take on my case against Lucasfilm Disney. Still, I did respond back. I think I qualify. And thousands of people agreed, but I did not expect anything. To my surprise, a few months ago, I received an email from a lawyer who had been hired by X to look into my story and many others. Turns out, after sending them as much information as I could gather these past few months, my now lawyers and X believe wholeheartedly in my case, and are moving forward. I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thank you to Elon Musk and to X for giving me opportunity to bring my case to light. Well, I don't often have cause to praise Elon, but I'll do it today. As for me, I love to pick up where I left off, continue my journey in creating and participating in storytelling, which is my utmost passion and everything I worked so hard for. It's been difficult to move forward with these lies and labels stuck on me, backed and encouraged by the most powerful entertainment company in the world. I'm grateful someone has come to my defense in such a powerful way and look forward to clearing my name. Thank you to all the people who supported me and made your voices heard. I pray God blesses each and every one of you with love. Gina Carano. And there's also contact information for a lawyer.
See, what really strikes me, what strikes me is that it seems that there are so many people that believe that they hold the right for the destruction of another person above the right of them to express their own thoughts and opinions on something. So where is that right kind of, the destruction of another person's career and life? Where does, why is that suddenly superseded somebody's right of
freedom?
Freedom
I really think it was to make an example out of her. Hey, you talk out of line. Don't matter if you're Gina Carano, you're the beloved character from our biggest show. We'll get rid of you. And we'll get rid of you unceremoniously. We'll call you. Here's the thing, firing her is one thing, but then calling her views abhorrent after that is the reason why I have boycotted Disney ever since. Because you're basically saying my views are abhorrent because I share the same views. I didn't take that vaccine. You know what? What are you gonna do? I should be fired because of that? Kiss my ass.
It's also the endless hypocrisy because, for argument's sake, because she was a lower, her character was a low level character. If Pedro Pascal, the star of the show, had her exact same tweets, they wouldn't have touched him because there's no way they would have fired the main character. I guarantee that.
He sold her out in blood, didn't he?
But and also, like she said too, the legend Carl Weathers came to, he backed her up after she got fired. He doesn't get on too much social media stuff, but he never badmouthed her once.
He was the first person to pick up the phone and call her. She said it herself. And that doesn't surprise me about the man.
It's quite telling, isn't it?
Yeah, true star, man.
I mean, it's interesting. We live in these very strange times where people can be, their career can be cancelled effectively. That's what they did to her. They cancelled it.
But here's how you know,
having differences of opinion and asking questions. And that's it doesn't matter what side of the fence you fall on politically or beliefs of those arguments. That is a very fucking shit hot slippery slope that leads to a very bad place very quickly. That's the problem.
There's something very, very fascistic about that as well. There's something,
very
of the fascist about that.
Yeah.
And the irony of them calling, their victims fascists while they do it is the cherry on top.
Yeah.
It's like psychological warfare, and it's literally demoralizing. It's to get the rest of us to quiet down. It literally is that kind of like tactics, psychological. And what's even, more, appalling about the whole thing is they do this thing that I've called that your boy Zach coined the term. It's called death from 1,000 links. And what they'll do is they'll say, oh, Gina Carano was fired because of her, and it'll be a link. It'll be like her awful tweets, her racist tweets or whatever, transphobic tweets. And then it'll just go on and you just assume that she made these awful tweets. So notice how in that previous article, they didn't share her actual words, her actual link.
No,
they want to say it for you, because if you actually knew what the hell she got fired for tweeting, if they actually showed you the link, you'd be like, this is mild. This is temperate at best. Yeah. But because they just say, oh, here's a link, and then you click the link and it's like, oh, story. And then the actual tweet is after 3 or 4 more links. You have to like find all these links to track down the actual cited quote, the actual offense. And you're like, that's how you know that these microaggressions are nonsense, That's how you know it's like they didn't actually do anything offensive, because if they did do something offensive, it'd be plastered all over the headline. This is what she did.
Pausing this topic for just a moment. Give me out of 10 on this show, everyone. So Griselda, I give it 7. Blue collar.
I was gonna say 7. Yeah.
Yeah, Luke, you didn't finish it. 1. And so
look. Yeah, as I said on the comments, if I wasn't familiar with Griselda's life story, probably a solid 5 out of 10. It's mid, but because I do know, it's like a 1. It's like it's so offensively bad.
If you don't care about the accuracy and you're a fan of Sofia Vergara, there's you'll probably like it.
Here, dude. One final thought about Griselda. It's like such an opportunity to tell the most hardcore gangster flick. Like it's when you tell me they're making a Griselda Blanco story, I'm picturing like Hostel. I'm picturing, House of 1,000 Corpses. This is going to be hardcore bad, like scary. And the fact that you make it like this tame, like woman empowerment girl boss story. No, that's not the character you make.
Did anybody see the Catherine Zeta-Jones TV movie?
That was better than this.
Yeah, because I think I've seen that, and I vaguely recall that was not bad.
It's a Lifetime movie, so I have seen it. It's very rushed. It's a little it's still more offensive than this. They do a good job of painting her as a more of a monster. In this Griselda show, they make it seem that all of her murderous ambitions are like from crack-induced paranoia. That's not true at all. She was literally evil to the bone. She was I don't know. Catherine Zeta-Jones, also another babe playing her, and I'm hearing Jennifer Lopez is interested in playing her next. We need, remember Selena? Remember the lady who killed Selena in the movie? That's who should play Griselda Blanco.
Yeah, or the short lady from Poltergeist, only she's dead. But I mean, if she was alive,
but
right.
The maid from Romeo and Juliet, you know her. She's that portly Mexican woman. She's very What's her name? Miriam Margolyes. She could play.
Oh my God, she'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's what she should look
play
like.
Evil old Bat Sarah as well. She could do that well.
She could play her in her later years when she started creating the crack empire and dating that Oakland gangbanger dude and from prison. Like that would be an amazing movie.
Tim, I don't know what that means, but dude, when we're going to do a stream about this. You should come on it. You should come on it for sure. Be
What's
part
the
of the
source?
panel.
Ingle. I'm going to look.
I'm in the process of. People will know I've been writing this book called The Tweet for quite a long time, which is a fictional story about an actress like Gina Carano being fired from a major franchise. But I'm actually thinking about just doing a book about the whole story, like a factual book. So I'm and I've got to, if I'm going to change those gears, I've got to change them now. So I've got to think about that. But and just kind of the downfall of Star Wars, in general. Man, that went wrong.
Unfortunately, I saw it firsthand, having worked on 5 of them. So
that's why you're called the Inside Man. Yeah, did they know? Was it? Did it feel like organized chaos or what? And
it just wasn't very pleasant. It wasn't pleasant at all. not in the slightest. There was this kind of, right at the beginning, this this excitement, and it just didn't kind of follow through, to be honest.
Right.
And I think
you're all working on a Star Wars film, and then a few days in, you realise you're kind of in a sort of Commandant Stalag Disney.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like actually being a Star Wars fan, right? You're desperate to want to love this thing, this thing that you grew up with. You're desperate to love it, and you're trying to convince yourself that you're having a great time whilst you're watching it. But at the end of the day, you know that you've just eaten a massive shit sandwich.
Oh dear. So we'll do a special episode about this, and I think we'll do it soon. So I may have to bump something. We'll see. Who's going to be able to watch the two Australian movies before Saturday? The Dish and the Castle.
Enzo can.
Yeah, I'll try this week. I'll try if I can.
Because
movies, I can watch. I watch movies. Tell me you watch a movie, I'll watch it tonight.
No, definitely. Well, listen, you should watch those two films anyway. I'll mention them again at the end of the stream.
I'm pretty sure I've seen the airport one.
Yeah, the Castle was out a long time ago, but it's definitely worth it's worth multiple viewings. It's so much fun
for sure.
Plus, you look a bit like the lawyer in it, so we can talk about that.
Handsome guy.
Gooch in the chat. Well, you're here now, buddy. So, yeah. So, actually, Tim, you know what? Fuck it. If you want to come on the stream tonight, let me know. We'll get you the link. So, I might bump that. I might bump that a week, and we might do a Gina Carano discussion on Saturday. I feel like it's warranted. I don't want it to take over the whole program tonight, but I feel like I'd like to get into that.
That'd be a really interesting one.
Well, I've talked about it so many times, and when we were in lockdown, that was going to be the next production that the Outcasts were going to do online, was going to be all about that. Yeah. But then the lockdown lifted, and we were all free to go and do our respective things. Okay, all right, we'll move on. So, but yeah, a lot of support out there, and I think it's quite right and proper that is happening. So I watched a documentary. One that I just know you're all dying to see, knowing Lorenzo's love for
Vincenzo. My name is not Lorenzo.
Yeah, Lorenzo's the other guy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm talking about knowing his love for musical themes. I saw the We Are the World documentary last night about the making of the single.
Yeah.
Right.
It was kind of interesting because it was really what it was about was just not so much the song and all of that kind of malarkey and how the song was written. That's covered, but it was more about kind of how everybody reacted in the room with each other.
Yeah.
And
the logistics of getting all those people together on one recording session is crazy enough.
Yeah, which was absolutely insane. And a lot.
Who was on it?
Well,
Sting, fucking Michael Jackson. Who else?
Yeah, there was Diana Ross,
Lionel Richie, Dionne Warwick,
Lewis,
the Pointer Sisters.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just loads of people there. There was a couple of things about it I didn't know. I do recommend it. It's a good watch. There's an article here which I'll just bring up quickly. It's just one sitting. It's not like dragged over 4 episodes or anything ridiculous.
Good.
And one of the Bruce Springsteen was there. So's Huey Lewis. So Cyndi Lauper.
Hall & Oates.
One of the things that was really sweet was right at the end, like Diana Ross is crying, and they catch that bit on video very briefly. And
is that because she's not getting paid for it?
Yeah, it could have been that. Kenny Rogers or somebody.
Forgo your check.
Somebody said
Quincy Jones conducted it. Hell yeah,
he did. Yeah, Harry Belafonte was key in putting it together. Who, of course, he passed away recently.
Yeah.
No,
but
Stevie Wonder had a solo. So did Paul Simon.
Well, they kind of did little piano solo bits, yeah. But
Billy Joel.
Somebody said to her, "Why are you crying?" And she said, "Oh, I don't want this to end. This has been just like hanging out with all their contemporaries because they don't really get to do that." So there was a lot of waiting around for Prince to see if he was going to show up, and some people got a bit of a raw deal, but it's good. It's good. It's quite heartbreaking seeing sort of 15 or so iconic music stars of my childhood, all of whom are dead.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
Like who do we still got? We still got Willie Nelson, amazingly, who's here. We've got Bruce Springsteen.
Still alive. Is Willie Nelson still alive? My God.
Oh yeah, he's still smoking weed too.
Probably
why he's still alive.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper's still with us.
Canoli's in the chat. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you.
Dude, Dan Aykroyd was in the chorus.
Yeah, that's really random because it's like all these super pop megastars, and I guess like the Ghostbusters song had just been number one because this was 85, Ghostbusters was 84, it was number one at Christmas. This was early 85, this was made. So I guess somebody said, "Can we get the Ghostbusters?" And Dan Aykroyd said, "Yeah, I'll come."
Dude, who else was in the chorus? Bette Midler, Hall & Oates were in the chorus. The Pointer Sisters were in the chorus. Smokey Robinson, Waylon Jennings. Dude.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Was this before Band-Aid? Oh, after?
No, this is after Band-Aid.
Right after.
Yeah.
A year later.
And but what's really amazing, you have all of these fantastic music stars, and the single was terrible. It wasn't. It was terrible.
A little Christmassy of a song, you know. You wouldn't listen to it in the car, I don't think. You know, we are the world.
There's real theories that with Band-Aid, Bob Geldof didn't donate the money to the poor. He ended up going to the dictator at the time and heavily armed the guards up even more. That's the theory, anyway. I don't know if that's true or if there was ever any real evidence.
That's an alleged statement that the Outcast Creative does not endorse.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything just now. I'm not.
For God's sake, man! That's all one episode, dude. What are you doing to me?
It's just something that's been heard.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's just something I made up just now on the show.
It's allegedly.
I heard it when I said it.
It's based on the factual ramblings of a strange northern drunkard.
Yeah, drunk Englishman.
Therefore, it must be true.
They're like, I heard from Northern English bastard that right there is like all the credentials you need.
It is a real theory. I mean, there's still people claiming it, but that's it. I'm not saying anything is what's the word? Well, not saying it's fully true. I mean, I don't know if there's any evidence to prove that, but that's just what I had a few times.
Yeah, all right, man. Stop talking about it. You're making it worse already. Anyway, Bob Geldof is in this, and I didn't know that he actually did a little pep talk to all the singers, and it was quite interesting. Don't forget, really, he wasn't a massive name. Boomtown Rats was not an international band and he became a big name because of Band-Aid. And then he's talking to all these stars that are way bigger than him, but they all just like shut up proper quickly. And he just was talking about what he'd seen in Africa and everything. And everybody's like, right after that, apparently everybody was like, yeah, okay, this is serious. Let's do this. You know, it's interesting. It's a big piece of music history, but you're right. The song was a bit shit.
Yeah, it's really kind of really wishy-washy, you know.
Yeah,
it's a bit kind of
The singing on it's good, but you know, and everybody's like belting out their lines like.
Everyone's got to have their moment, you know. It's all a bunch of narcissists. Everyone's trying to upstage each other.
Yeah.
You know, there's a good song that is kind of the same song, but it's better. The Jacksons did that song. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Like that song is great.
On Friday.
Dun 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 dun. It makes you want to like clap your hands, you know.
Yeah.
It's in the Fetzer Rock. It's in the Fetzer Rock episode where they spoof it.
Yeah.
That's a great
It's
song.
got a great music video too, where
Yeah.
the Jacksons are all giants and they're like
Yeah,
playing with
yeah.
rivers and mountains and stuff. It's so cool.
Yeah. Allegedly.
It's like 6 minutes long too.
Allegedly,
y'all are ignorant.
Blanket.
We're not talking about. We are not talking about that documentary today. All right. Well, We Are the World is on Netflix. I recommend it. It's a good watch. It's just really interesting, and it's a bit of a minutia look at how these people were when they were all in the same room. Right. I'm gonna talk about a different show now. And I may say some controversial things. But
Oh boy.
I'm listening.
It's not often I watch a show and I get so angry that I'm screaming at the monitor.
Sounds like Enzo.
That was me when I was watching Griselda.
See?
Yeah.
But well, it happened for two of us.
That's me in
this
general.
week. Enzo with Griselda.
Was this show supposed to make you angry? Because that sounds better.
Yeah, it was, and it succeeded.
Is this the new Postman for Bates versus Post Office show? That's
no, we talked about
blood boil.
covered that already. No. So the reason I didn't see this show when it dropped in the summer of 22 is because that's when we were doing the play about the post office scandal. We were in rehearsals for the play at that time. Yeah. I was also in the States. I was in the States for part of the summer. I was at my friend's wedding. I came straight back from that. I was straight into rehearsals. And then I was doing the show for most of 2023 as well. So this was a show that dropped during that time. I completely missed it. I do remember the trailer for it, and I don't know. It just sort of came up on my feed, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah!" I never got around to watching that, and I've always been very interested in this story. Now, this was supposed to be season 3 of American Crime, and I thought the first 2 seasons, which was covered O.J. Simpson, the second season was, I forget what it was now, but they were both good. I was really like, oh yeah, season 3 about Hurricane Katrina. I want to see that because of all the things that had gone on. This is about the Memorial Hospital, which was basically left to fend for itself for 5 days.
Watching it next.
The first day of the hurricane, knocked out a few windows and things like that, but the hurricane passed. But then, of course, the next day, the levees broke and their power generators were all in the basement. And the whole building was, I think it was something like 40 feet below sea level anyway. So they had to move everything up from like the 3rd floor and above. The other really weird thing is on the 7th floor, they had a separate hospital in the same building, which had separate contracts. So when helicopters were coming to take people off, and there weren't many of them, there were debates over shit like who could get on a helicopter because, oh, you're not covered by the insurance of this company and this fucking madness. I can't tell you how much this annoyed me. Your country has got the biggest army in the world, and it can't mobilize its forces to go and help the people that are in desperate need in one of the worst catastrophes in the history of your time. And the complete lack of response, both on the ground, locally, the mayor, and also from Bush at the time, I absolutely beggared belief. Where was the political mobilization? Where was the will? And what the stuff that went on was absolutely fucking horrifying. And they had patients that ultimately they couldn't move. The authorities ordered that the hospital be evacuated, and they forcibly, almost at gunpoint, moved the doctors and the patients that could move out. And then the patients that got stuck behind that were in critical care were euthanized. They were killed. They were given an injection and they died. And this is told over 8 episodes. It's got one of the most outstanding casts I've ever seen in a show.
Okay.
I can't even tell you the quality of the acting in this. I mean, every performance, from the patients to the doctors, is at an Oscar level of acting. I'm sure this must have cleaned up at the Emmys. If it didn't, that's an absolute travesty. you've got to watch it. This is just mandatory viewing for anyone who cares about humanity, or just how your country functions or doesn't function in a time of crisis. If you're an American citizen and you haven't watched this drama, you absolutely should. One of the interesting things about the reviews on IMDb, and it's got an average score of 7.7, but on these reviews, and I'm only 5 episodes in, I've still got 3 episodes to go, right? And they've just all left the hospital, and the remaining 3 are going to be about the court cases and the stuff that went on afterwards. There's a lot of reviews on here from doctors and nurses from the area or the profession. A couple of them are from people who were in New Orleans at the time. There's a couple of negative reviews, but the majority of the reviews are singing its praises, as I am to you now. I've already written to 2 of the cast today to try and get them to come on my show. I've written to Drinker, and I've told him he must watch this. Absolutely must watch this. And I mean, even though I missed it at the time, I can't believe that this show hasn't had the same reaction in your country that Bates versus Post Office has had in my country on the politics surrounding that. Now, I know that the time distance is bigger because Katrina happened in 2005. Politics has moved on. Leaders have gone and all of that. But nevertheless, man, this was an absolute travesty. And the people on the front lines, they did their best. And some of the doctors were forced to do terrible things, but terrible things that I personally believe were not their fault. So in case you haven't read between the lines, I'm giving this praise. I think it's good. This is a positive review. And I'm probably going to do a special episode on the show. And like I said, if I can get a couple of the cast to come on and talk about it, that'd be great. It's written and directed by, he's directed 3 of the episodes, the same director that did, or the same writer of 12 Years a Slave. So it's not Steve McQueen, but it's John Riley who worked with him. Yeah, man, it's God, it's a good show. It's fucking heartbreaking, but it's amazing. Has anyone seen it apart from me?
Negative.
No.
Right, I'll rest my case right there. That's the problem. So
talk about it next week.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that people probably, is that about Katrina? That's probably going to be quite depressing, and I'm not sure I want to watch that. And I'll be honest, I watched the first episode, and I really struggled. I was like, I could see what was coming, and I was thinking, I don't know if I can stomach the rest of this. But I just feel like morally, as a human being, we have a moral obligation to be informed about these kinds of things. And this is where television drama really serves a purpose. This is where it does us a service as a community, as a society, because this is a benchmark drama that says, don't fuck up like this again. If this is going to happen again, make sure you're ready. This is what went wrong last time for all the world to see. And I knew stuff in that whole situation was really bad. And I'd heard a lot of stuff about the Dome and what went on at the Dome and with all the thousands of people there. The story about this hospital was unknown to me. So listen, it's not a date. It's not something for date night with one, but I really feel everybody should watch this. I just thought it was fantastic. People are asking. I'm talking about 5 days at Memorial right now, but we're going to cover a couple of other things as well. Yes, Katrina was bad. Bad, okay. Measures to reinforce the Mississippi River were voted down. People argued that it was just pork. Could you elaborate on that, please? Dan's never even heard of this show. Exactly. And he works with a couple of relocated.
That's how it happens.
Yeah. So it's on Apple Plus. It's on Apple Plus, Keith. It's on Apple Plus. It's still on Apple Plus.
What's next?
Damn,
Wait,
man. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Good show. Just going to mention a couple of the cast, and I'm also going to mention the 2 casts that I wrote to. This actress, Vera, how do you pronounce that name? Is it Farmiga?
Farmiga?
I thought it was Farmiga.
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 She's one of the key doctors. Has to make some very difficult decisions. Cherry Jones, I met with her partner in London when she was doing a play. She actually walked past us on the street, and we stopped her and we chatted with her. And she's amazing in this. I mean, she's always amazing, but she's particularly.
Where do I know Cherry Jones from?
She was in The Village, The Perfect Storm.
No, there's something else. Hang on, I'll look it up.
She's great in Succession.
Maybe her name's pronounced Farmiga.
Farmiga.
I don't know. I'm joking.
No, I think it is Farmiga.
Farmiga. I like.
So
Farmiga.
I've written to Damon Standifer on every social media account that he has. So he's definitely going to see the message. And he played one of the patients who could not be moved. And I've just got to the episode where someone's coming into his room. He's an unknown actor. He's phenomenal in this. And then there's another actress who plays the daughter of this woman, and Diane Johnston plays another one of the elderly patients who is too old to move, and her daughter is forcibly removed from her mother's room by sheriffs, and that really happened because I double checked. That really happened. Can you imagine someone forcibly removing you from your parents' hospital room because the hospital's being evacuated and you know that your mother's going to be left there to die and you want to make that choice to stay with her, and they say that you can't because you'll be trespassing and they'll arrest you because once the hospital's evacuated, you'll be trespassing. That's what they told her. I can't tell you how fucking angry the whole thing made me, as you can probably hear in my voice.
Bunch of jerks.
But I mean, just, you guys have got like amazing emergency services. There's a really good story about a son who, despite everything that's happening, will not give up on going to get his mum out the hospital. And what he does is he ends up going to a local fire department, and there are 2 other guys, a father and a son, who turn up with some, those hoverjet boats that you get in the Florida Everglades. Thank you. They turn up with a couple of those, and they say, "We'll help you." And they go to the hospital with them, and he not only gets his mother out, but they take about 8 other patients. Where are the presidential medals for these people? Because they should absolutely get one. Absolutely. And they did that all off their own volition with no help from emergency services whatsoever, who, by the way, were sitting in massive groups on the periphery of this while it was all going on, doing nothing because no one gave them authority to move, because no one was in charge and no one would stand up to be in charge because they didn't want to take criticism for not doing anything. So
would this be the responsibility of the state governors?
Well, we're the British people asking the Americans in the chat. It depends on Blue. Jump in and let us know.
Daft Plato's elaborated on the pork meaning.
Oh, please, metaphor for. Oh, hang on, sorry. Metaphor for the appropriation of government spending for localized projects secured solely or primarily to direct spending to a representative's district. I see. So, not spending the money in the right places, I think, is what we're going to read from that.
I'm only sharing a couple seconds because this was a comedy of like South Park because they always stay relevant. But like this was
South Park clips.
I'm only showing like 3 seconds because this was the entire episode of the joke. Remember, it was the day after tomorrow. But
yeah.
Global warming's gonna kill us.
There's no audio. Oh well.
There isn't.
What is he saying?
There's no audio.
No, we can't hear it.
Just summarize it. I'm sure.
He's like, Mom. He's like, yeah. Stan, actually, captions should be on too. Check for her. Sorry, I thought.
Play it again. Play it again with the captions.
Sorry.
Okay.
Here it comes.
All right. Let's see. Mom, Dad, they're gonna help those people, right? I don't know. You know, they should have done something about it damn years ago. Don't blame the mayor, Shaman. Blame FEMA. I think this whole thing is really their fault. But somebody's got to help the people off of their rooftops, right? That's not what's important right now.
Yep.
I forgot whose fault it is.
That was essentially the entire premise of like what. Yeah, so many people died that shouldn't have to, and we're sitting there we're watching on TV like what is going on, and
we should do more dramatic readings where we all get parts and read scripts. That'd be fun.
That's what the Outcast Creative Channel was at the beginning. We did that, man. We can do that. I've got 30 scripts on my computer written from 2022 alone.
Yeah, the fact
you know what I want to do? I want to
as a character of your choice.
Yeah,
I've thought about doing. I mean, obviously, like there's copyright reasons about it, but like there's the never produced screenplay for Paul Verhoeven's Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Crusade.
Oh, have you got
I would love to do like an animated or like a read over. Of course, it'll get claimed. Like it's technically not okay copyright wise, but dude, it's such a badass script. It's like,
have you got a copy of that? Have you got a copy of that script allegedly?
Yeah, there's a PDF right here. I'll send you a link to it.
Okay, allegedly, send me that link. Allegedly, yeah. Good.
Wow.
You can get
No, dude, these scripts are like access on the internet free. It's not like it's illegal to share the script. Scripts are,
okay, cool. Send me that script, Spencer, definitely.
I think reading online and doing your own production of it without like, crediting the writer is a problem,
Yeah.
I think it would be pretty fun to actually read that out with somebody.
I'm sure we could do excerpts of it.
Who does the best Arnie impression?
That's Northern English.
Oh, police officer, you idiot!
No,
that's not a good one. No,
no.
I knew that was.
That's the global warming.
My real name is Arnold Braunschweiger.
I mean, just the other thing about this show that makes it so good, by the way, is the production value and the stuff. I mean, they must have built a massive set.
So Apple, man, Apple Plus. I've yet to see so far a bad looking TV show on Apple Plus.
Yeah.
Bad looking is a lot different from bad,
I don't care about the story as long as it looks good.
We'll probably talk about
only characters explosions in my shows.
Exactly.
I listen. I recommend it. So far, it's a 10 out of 10 from me.
We'll talk about it next week for sure.
1 to 5. I can't find fault in this show. I think it's mandatory viewing. It's difficult viewing, sure, but the important stuff always is. So do check it out. People in the chat, if you've seen it, let me know. If you haven't, watch it. Come back and tell us next week what you think about it.
I mean, I know it's 2005, so it's going on 20 years now, but I'm not sure when it happened to us. I mean, me and Enzo and people over here that you just, as regular citizens that are working all the time, paying your bills, you're watching stuff in the news and you're thinking, yeah, how are we the richest effing country on the planet and this is happening? And that was 20 years ago. And since then, look how much more stuff happens. People get burnt out now. Now we have Twitter. Now we have, TikTok and stuff. And it's a joke, but not a joke, but like school shootings the past couple of years in New York State alone, you hit a point where like, you know what, you pick your phone. Oh, no, school shooting this week. Okay. And just, I'm going to Denny's. I'm going to Burger King because it becomes so commonplace that we're getting so burnt out of it.
Yeah.
And since, we've seen so many atrocities since then that like people are borderline just not caring anymore.
Yeah, I listen, man. I remember the South Park episode where they were going to school and just you could hear gunshots all around them, and they were ignoring them because it was so commonplace.
That's why I love South Park.
Stan's mum is going crazy about it, and Randy's like, "It's not a big deal. You should take it as an everyday thing. It'd be all casual about it." It's like, that's how crazy it's gotten. I
think this show though covers some things that go deeper. I think if you live in a modern Western society and you pay your taxes and you pay your bills, and we all know everybody working for the government rips off and steals money and gets away with and spends all their tax dollars in the Bahamas and whatever. But there are certain things that a population will live with. One thing that a population should not live with is what these people went through here. They should have fully expected the emergency services coordinated by the governor and the mayor along with national help, to have an immediate coordinated effort, the likes of which, you know, the First Army would have driven into Iraq during Desert Storm. That's not what we got. So I just think I think it covers a lot of things that are very worth highlighting. And I think you're right. In society today, if this happened again today, people would be posting videos from inside that hospital every 5 minutes as shit's going down. The country would be accountable a lot quicker, because 2005 social media boom hadn't happened yet.
And it's like, I mean, I don't want to trail your stream, Lance, but I mean, I know Enzo could back this up, that, you know, it's not even getting political. It's just that people do get this part where it's like, hey guys, we're so broke and we can't send supplies to people that are going through floods and stuff. We can't help our own citizens. Okay, sure. Hey, but, you know, what we should do though is how about we ship another $40 billion to Ukraine, because we have no money though.
Can I share a memory I have about Katrina?
Yeah, is that the thing I just put up?
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
I'm sorry. That actually happened. That was insane. That was like Mike Myers has this look like, what the hell did you just say? Anyway,
do you know what? I bet Mike Myers
to add some levity.
I bet Mike Myers looks back at that and thinks, "Yeah, man, you were probably bang on to say that."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he went way off script.
You know, I don't want. Let's not go too political because I do try and keep that off my channel. But maybe that's my fault.
Political opinions aside, that was hilarious. I don't care what you think. That was a funny part.
It's definitely part of the entertainment world, because what is it happened recently with what was The Rock and Oprah? Hey, you know, Rock is worth $600 million. Oprah's like $4.3 billion. What we need though is you people, everyone watching, you people that work 9 to 5 and pay your bills. We know that, you know, we don't have as much money as you, but please donate to all these charities, even though I'm worth $4 billion.
Yeah, what's the point of paying for insurance if, like, you know, you got to pay every month for the insurance and then something terrible happens and you still got to pay a huge fee of money? What is the point of it?
No,
it's a scam.
I bet a lot of people in that hospital thought that.
Abolish all 3-letter agencies, abolish all insurance, get rid of all taxes except for sales tax. My God, it's that simple, folks.
No. Well, we're going to talk about that show again. I'm going to try and get some of the cast.
Oh, I'll start watching it, Lance. Well, the thing is, I didn't even know it. I have Apple Plus. I didn't even know it existed.
I'm going to try and get. I'm going to try.
We're going to start the trend of everyone talking about how great the show is now. Today.
It started right here, guys. It started right here. We're gonna start that shitstorm, because that's the kind of quality television I want to see. I'm not saying that's all I want to see. Of course, I want to see shows that are going to make me laugh, and you know, I want to go to outer space and I want to be entertained. But I also want good quality drama to shine a light on human tragedy that I really should know something about, that I want to be educated on, that I want to be able to offer an intelligent comment on at a dinner party when I talk about this in 10 months' time or whatever, knowing that I've got my facts straight, because this TV drama pointed me in the right direction. I've already done a ton of research on it today alone, because I didn't want to comment on it unless it was accurate, and it is accurate. It's very accurate. So I've yet to find a thing in the show that they embellished that, because it's you know, there's a really clever scene where they show how rumors start, and there was one of the rumors that started was that a girl went outside to have a cigarette break, who was a nurse, and she got assaulted, but no one can actually find that person. Somebody just said it as a rumor to somebody because they heard somebody else say it who'd just come into the hospital, who was probably talking about a civilian who probably was nothing to do with the hospital. And that went from somebody may have got assaulted or somebody made a grab for someone's purse to, by the time it got to the third or the fourth floor, it was a nurse had been gang raped by 5 people, you know. And that rumor escalated to that level within a couple of hours. That's the sort of stuff they were having to deal with. You know, it's nuts.
I did hear something like that was happening in the stadium where all the people were held up. I remember reading an article from a tourist who was from England, and he was hearing news like a little girl was assaulted in one of the bathrooms, and not only that, because there was a lot of black people around, some of them were looking at him and saying, it's that white guy's fault. We should stab him later, and laughing. And he had to pretend to be asleep and not hear them. And he was scared. He was scared, man. He was really scared.
Yeah, there was a load of European tourists that were in that dome, and they all kind of gravitated and stuck together as a group. Damn, it would be great to get one of them on the show, wouldn't it? And have an interview.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on. But needless to say, excellent show, and I really think everybody should check it out. Darth Plato's already on it. He's queuing up the stream as we speak. So yeah, it's just fantastic stuff. Good to see you, Jammer. So Dan Candy says none of the rumors he starts about his sexual prowess that ever get traction. Which, so I'm just trying to lighten the mood now. Okay,
I can do it.
Bit heavy there. Right. So going from that, I'm going to talk about this show briefly. Boy Swallows Universe. Contrary to the title, this is not actually about a young boy with a Stupenzo-like ability to swallow entire suns and planets.
I thought it was going to be like Magic School Bus, where there's like a little, like a tiny car inside of him, Interspace style.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. And it was funny because I thought this sounds like something like that Rhys Darby would do, where he's a wacky dad and he's got a kid and he invents something for the kid, and somehow the kid becomes bigger than the universe and has to eat planets to survive. That's kind of what I actually thought I was going to see. It's not about that. It's a Australian drama, so I'm going to be getting you guys to watch a lot of Australian stuff lately. Nothing wrong with that. True. So it feels like it could be a true story. It feels very true. It's about two boys who are part of a low-end criminal family. So it's got an Animal Kingdom vibe, but unlike the kids in Animal Kingdom who are kind of old teenagers growing into adults, these kids are still very young. They're still at school, and it's told through their eyes. It's like a children's diary of what it's like to be with a dysfunctional mother and father who are both involved in petty crime and other activity, which they find out more and more about as time goes on. I've only seen the first episode, but I liked it so far. Anyone else seen it?
No, mate, no.
It's a recommendation from me from what I've seen so far. It's not going to be for everyone, but this kid is phenomenal. You've got some seasoned Australian actors turning up in cameos and things. Yeah. I love this actress. She's been in about 5 Australian movies that I've seen, and she's always absolutely incredible. Of Aboriginal descent. There's a really good film with her in called Last Taxi to Darwin, sort of comedy road movie. I thoroughly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's a good cast, really good performances, I recommend it. So I'm seeing stills of stuff that I haven't got to yet because I've only seen episode 1, so I'll take those off for spoilers. I won't give that a rating yet because I'm only 1 episode in, but it does look good. So so that's all the stuff I've got to mention. Northern, have you seen anything else, or you got anything you want to recommend since last week?
Not I can say. I'm just finishing off Sexy Beast as well, which is really good. I'm
it is good, isn't it?
That's been recently. Yeah, that last episode was actually a good one as well, and they kind of eased off on the love interest a little bit though, and she was actually giving some good scenes where they allowed to build a bit of chemistry between her and Gal.
Is that episode 4?
Episode 4, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I don't want to spoil anything too much for you, but I'm only
up to episode 3. I watched 1 to 3 together, and I thought I'd wait until a couple more have come out.
Yeah, I just watched it this morning. It's getting pretty good. I'm really liking the show. I didn't think I would because Sexy Beast is good how it was anyway. I don't need to know anything more about the characters, but I do want to see what happens to the rest of the series.
We talked about it more on last week's episode, so do check it out if you want to hear more. But we'll get into it again when the show's got to the end of the season. Blue, what else have you seen this week?
I did watch and review Argyle. So, I mean, of course, as Critical Drinker put his review up like half hour before he went on, and
I haven't watched his review yet. Tell us what you think about it.
I mean, short version 6 out of 10, and I said in my review, I see the criticisms. I know, like Enzo said, films like Kingsman, if like Matthew Vaughn, like any director, has a style, simple as that. If you've seen Kingsman or Kick-Ass, you know what you're going into with this, but it's PG-13. It doesn't work for everybody, and I understand that. And I said that if you don't like that type of like hyper realism action and stuff, it won't be for you. The comedy, I enjoyed it. Sam Rockwell, I can never get enough of Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
But it's basically it's a romantic comedy mixed with like Long Kiss Goodnight mixed with I don't know, it's basically like a PG-13 Kingsman film. And so I do see the criticisms. The one thing I guess I wouldn't like argue, but like people are bitching like, well, Henry Cavill isn't in it too much, he's on a poster. The first trailer shows you Henry Cavill is Argyle, which is the fictional character in her books. He's not gonna be in the film the entire time. It's not about Henry Cavill. But the whole like, oh, he's only in it for 5 minutes, that's bullshit. He's in the film for a lot longer than 5 minutes.
Not a surprise. He's in it for 10 minutes, okay? It's a lot longer.
Yeah.
I bet Henry Cavill hated doing this scene.
But like the thing I liked about it, because Lord Toxic said it's about a Reacher. He goes, the funny part is Alan Richson, that's what somebody who's not an MP thinks they look like. Tom Cruise is actually what MP would be. The joke is in her mind, right? Henry Cavill, and Enzo said this with Bond, Henry Cavill, that's not what a spy looks like. He's too big, muscular, perfect looking. Sam Rockwell is what an actual spy would look like. And that I appreciated, because that's the premise is like, Argyle is not real. That's what she thinks. That's a Hollywood version of what a spy would be. And we all know damn well Henry Cavill would not be a spy. It just doesn't work out like that.
Spy's gonna look more like Blue Collar or Lance.
And that's what Sam Rockwell is. He's like telling her, he's like this. He's like, I'm an actual spy. And so,
hold on. What on earth do you mean? Gonna look more like me.
Stan, you look like a Fed, bro.
And people were bitching, like, even
sniff them out.
My son laughed. He goes, Dad, I heard people complaining they use a CGI cat. I know, because it's 2024. Do you expect them to throw an actual cat off a friggin' window or something, or down like a chimney or something? It is, guys. It's 2024. The cat's gonna be CGI. Like they even CGI.
And it's always better when the cat's real, but
yeah.
Is this lady representing like the vision of the author that she sees as herself?
No, it's a character that's basically every character in her Argyle books is basing off a character in her real life.
Right.
That's how it plays.
So Dua Lipa plays obviously a character in the book. Who is this character based off of in her real life?
A friend of hers that's supposedly passed away. It
okay.
definitely it's got like a lot of twists and turns. Even like the cat has been every character in her book, whether it's the cat, her mother, father, they're all based on her real life events. But I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but I understand the criticisms. I just say that I think it's worth the rental, because I did like the elements. And said the third act goes pure Fast and Furious. It goes pure over the top. It's ridiculous and stupid. I'm like, you know what? But so isn't 99% of 80s and 90s action films. Like, we all love Commando. We all love, like, Enzo recently did Hard Target. If I could break down how many ridiculous scenes are in Hard Target, how many Rambo films, like the third act is makes no sense. But if you take it as a popcorn flick, it's pretty fun.
Catherine O'Hara's in it. I've got to watch it. I mean, she's just anything she does, she's good. Even if the movie or the show is not, she's always good. I mean, she made Schitt's Creek what it is. Such a good fun end of the day TV show. Bryan Cranston's in it as well.
Yeah,
is he playing like the MI5? Is he playing like the M role?
He's the bad guy. He's the bad guy of the.
Oh, spoilers!
Yeah, well, it's kind of in the trailer, but
kidding.
But and to her credit, Bryce Dallas and even her, she's definitely thicker than she used to be, but she has no problem wearing a very low cut dress, and she pulls it off pretty good.
I love how you include that little tidbit in your glowing review, your praise of the film.
Come on, Bryce, she's still rocking it.
Bryce is very nice.
The third act makes no sense, but there's cleavage.
Yeah, exactly. It's cleavage explosions. Like they're doing stuff in the third act where I was people in my theater were actively laughing because it's that over the top action where like it doesn't make any sense. But you know what? The first actually all three Transporter films with Jason Statham, I busted out laughing how ridiculous the Transporter films are, or Crank. Like it's like that's the same thing with this film.
Excuses for why you like the movie.
No, I'm just saying, like, some action scenes are like, if you watch Crank or Transporter, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
So she smokes a lot of meth in this movie?
She doesn't smoke now, but well.
Okay. That was Crank. Fun. I remember Crank was cool.
Well, I this could be, just a mindless way to spend 90 minutes. Feature film, right? It's a movie.
Yeah. But I mean,
I think the red heat for Schwarzenegger, that haircut.
Yeah, I was thinking that was
flat top. Yeah. What a box-shaped head. That's a funny.
That's why they call me Roundhead.
You know what's kind of weird, Lance, is people are complaining like with Bond. Okay, so we get Daniel Craig Bond, right? Super serious and stuff. And it's like Bond should be funny and should be fantasy. All right. But then if you make it too ridiculous, it's stupid. But then
parody.
If it's too serious like Daniel Craig, it's stupid. So it's like where's the middle ground? This is like
it's gotta be
a living daylights.
It's got to be believable within the world that it's set for itself.
Yeah,
Living Daylights is the middle ground you're looking for. GoldenEye is also a good middle ground.
Yeah.
I just did License to Kill last Sunday with Ghost and the Craig.
Yeah, I watched that.
As silly as that is, I do like License to Kill a lot.
Yeah, it's funnier than most people make it out to be. I know
it's the most really brutal James Bond. It's the most murderous James Bond we've ever had. It's awesome.
But it does have some very memorable villains and sad characters, though. And they do add some levity to the dark and gritty storyline, though.
No, definitely. I mean, Bryce Dallas, the entire third act is just her in a low-cut dress. I'm like, all right, for good 45 minutes.
You're all in.
He's not even listening to us.
What's like Keith said, cleavage?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, good to see you.
Nah.
He's in his own.
Who else saw Argyle? So you saw it, Stepenzo, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
No,
and did your other friend Lorenzo? Did he catch it or not him as well?
No.
Okay, neither of you.
No.
All right, cool. So just blue collar. So what it sounds like that's kind of like a 7 out of 10.
I mean, I'd say like maybe a 6.
6 out of 10, but the last 20 minutes for you were 10 out of 10. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Boobs.
All right, cool. Stupendous. What have you seen that we haven't talked about? Anything? Is there anything we have not
and Vex Electronica watched a little movie. I'm hoping to release it on Valentine's Day. It's called My Demon Lover, starring Scott Valentine, who is a homeless street musician who becomes a literal demon when he gets aroused. And it is the weirdest date movie I think I've ever seen. And expect a video of that in a week or so. I also watched Action Jackson, which was a blast.
Great film. We covered that last week. Though.
I was trying to get it on for this Wednesday, but I think it's going to come out on the 21st. We had a great time watching that, though. But yeah, My Demon Lover was bizarre and awesome, and it was a sweet little rom-com with demons.
I saw this movie when it came out on video because the video had this cover. The girl there looks like the actress from One You Never See in Anything Anymore. When Harry Met Sally, Meg Ryan. Looks a bit like Meg Ryan.
She did have I've never seen her before or since, this actress.
She what? Sorry. Say that again.
Inside Man.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Sorry, not anymore.
Oh,
not anymore. She doesn't. Have you seen her face now?
Oh, Meg Ryan. Yeah.
I mean, if she just left it alone, she could have sailed into old age looking lovely, and would have been getting great roles.
This girl Michelle Little, she's very sweet and charming, but she plays the dumbest girl ever. Like, she basically takes in homeless dudes and then tries to sleep with them before giving them baths and stuff and letting random vagrants stay in the house.
When you want to sleep with them after you've given them a bath, not before. Yeah.
This guy basically, when he meets her right here in this scene, he approaches her, grabs her food, and starts eating it, and then spits it all over her, and then she takes him home with her. It's like, what the hell?
Damn! Clearly, my approach with women.
She knows what she wants.
Yeah, New York in the 80s.
This looks like the Paramount backlot street set, you know.
Oh, like a fake street? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, fun movie, fun stupid movie.
This really feels like a kind of like a Charlie Band film, you know. Like Terror Vision and all of those from the 80s.
It's not the guy who directed it. Only made 4 movies, I think. Let's see here. My Demon Lover.
That's Alan Fudge. Damn, didn't recognize him.
Charlie Loventhal directed it. He also made Mr. Right, Mr. Write, starring Paul Reiser. Sorry.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I definitely remember seeing this movie when I was super young. I feel like I'm not going to be diving to watch it again, but I'll probably watch your review instead.
Yeah, watch our little highlight reel. It's funny. We had a good time watching it. It was cute.
What would you give it out of 10?
I would give it like a solid 7 red stars. It was a bad movie, but you should watch it if you like bad movies. It was fun. As opposed to 7 black stars, which means it's really good. You should watch it. This is really bad, but it was the right level of camp.
I'm always curious to see sort of, who continued with acting and what they're doing now. With
this woman, stand out. Oh, she was so hot in this movie. Gina Gallego. Oh my goodness. It made me really wish this movie was rated R and she was showing the goods, because she was basically playing some kind of sexy Latin friend of Michelle Little,
Yeah.
And oh man, she was definitely a highlight of the film.
There's a big cowboy. Sally just passed away. I think he's a stunt man by the looks of things. Yeah, 83 stunts, 101 credits. There you go. Attila the Hun. I've got that. I bought that when I was in the States. That's the one with Gerard Butler.
Oh my God! Check out Darth Plato's comments. I was at a house where the owner brought home a homeless person and offered a shower. Then picked up the bag lady's clothes and said, "I'll throw these out and get you new clothes." The bag lady went ballistic and took the clothes back and left.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't. If that's all the possessions they've had for so long, you don't know what's in that bag or what's in the pocket.
I'll throw away these tattered rags for you. And
yeah, you don't need your lifelong possessions. I've got some slightly oversized clothes that will vaguely fit you with some moth-eaten holes in. That's not good.
If I was homeless, I would just bathe in random fountains and things like that.
Inside Man, have you seen anything since I last spoke to you, which was very recently?
Yeah, I watched a couple of things actually. I watched Moon.
The old Sam Rockwell film.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Did you see it for the first time?
No, it's one of my favorites. It's my kind of my comfort food, if you like. Just love his performance in that. It's an amazing film.
Great film.
I wish David Bowie's son had just made better movies after that.
Yeah,
they really propped him up with this movie and was like, dude, David Bowie's son, and then he made Source Code and Warcraft and what else? That awful deaf guy, Mute. That's what it was.
He basically got several big Hollywood paycheck movies, and now he needs to go back and make a little indie film.
Moon was awesome.
Moon was great.
And it was like $5 million or something. It's a really, really ultra low budget, but
also one of Sam Rockwell's finest.
Really is, really is. And I watched Garth Marenghi's Dark Place as well.
Yes!
Oh God, that is so good. That is so good.
I can't get on with that.
I love it. It's only 6 episodes, bro. It's like 3 hours long.
Amazing.
It's so good.
Absolutely fucking amazing.
It's not for me. Oh look, Lily Gladstone at an event. Was she in Moon? Lily Gladstone? Was she in Moon? Don't remember her being in Moon.
Did you guys know that Garth Marenghi is an anagram for "Arg Nightmare"?
I did not.
It is.
I feel so glad that I feel so glad that knowledge has been imparted. I feel I can sleep better.
It's so genius though, because when they do the show within the show, you can really see Garth Marenghi's ego just bleeding into every single line of dialogue.
Well,
like, you
should
work too hard. You should be paid a hero's wage. And
it was. I mean, first time I saw this, it was. I can't remember what I was shooting. I was shooting something. I think it might have been some drama or something, some BBC thing, and I come home late. And it was on about 11:30 on Channel 4, first episode, and it was on a Thursday. What is this? And
it was very downplayed. I remember that.
Yeah, and it was as soon as I saw Matt Berry, I thought, this is going to be good.
What's it?
He's funny as hell. He can say any line of dialogue, and it'd be great.
Yeah. They started.
Have you seen Snuffbox? Sorry.
South Park.
Snuffbox.
Yeah, Will Johnson just showed a clip with the boyfriend though, who tries it on with women. As soon as they mention that they got a boyfriend, it's like, all right, fuck you. They just smashes
Kicks
everything.
the dog out the window or whatever, and breaks the goldfish bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Matt Berry.
Is that a movie? What is that?
It's a sketch show.
I said another series.
I love some of the best quotes on Garth Marenghi's where he's like, "I'm one of the few people you'll meet who've written more books than I've read."
Yeah.
What about I'll tell you, Lance, it's hilarious.
I know authors that use subtext, and they're all cowards.
Yeah.
Dean
Lerner, one of my favorite.
One of my apps. Need to watch it again, but
yeah, it's so funny. Dean Lerner's like, "I've got the script, I've read it, scared me senseless, and I said to Garth, looked him right in the face. I've never been afraid of holding a man's gaze. It's natural. I said, this is going to be the most significant televisual event since Quantum Leap. And I do not say that lightly."
You're a fool. You're a fool. You're a flipping fool. You're a fool. I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also see that you can see it's been edited as well to make up for all his outtakes. Yeah. It's so great.
Yeah.
the first bit, the bit where the girl comes into the hospital for the first time, she shakes Matt Berry's hand, and there's that.
Yeah, dude.
They're totally mean to her. Steve Merchant just knocking the bloody plate off her hand for no reason at all, apart from one complaint. It's just crazy. It's so unnecessary, but man, it's funny.
Dude, I'm just reading some of the quotes. This episode is really.
I need to give it another watch, but I couldn't get into it. I don't know if Sandy's talking about Moon or if she's talking about Garth Marenghi's Dark.
Probably Fate. Garth Marenghi's. Moon is a solid. Everyone loves Moon. Garth Marenghi's, it's an acquired taste. It's like spoof. Mystery
it's
Science
basically just about a hacky author showing off his ego and making himself look even more deranged, especially his publicity.
It's a fake show from the 80s.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And it's made in the 2000s, you know? But he's like, I'm reading some of these quotes. He's like, this episode is really about my own desire to have a son. I have 4 daughters, and whilst I don't blame them as such, I don't really feel like they're on my side. Dean Lerner. I haven't acted since. Some would say I didn't act during, but those would be unkind people. I did my best.
He actually did another series, didn't he? Richard Ayoade did another series.
Play the intro, if that's what you're asking.
No, I don't want to ask that.
It was like a chat show, wasn't it? Where the guy who played Garth Marenghi was like different characters.
I'm just going to mute some people. Okay. Can we table the Garth Marenghi discussion for a second? Am I allowed to stream someone else's YouTube channel who's streaming right now? As in, can we
stream snipe them. Stream snipe them.
So I'm a big fan of Drunk 3PO, and he is the first YouTuber that publicly stuck up for Carano.
I think he was like dating Carano or is.
No, he wasn't dating her. They were just friends. But he did actually. He was for a while. He was helping her out with her.
Well, I'd like to think that he at least hit it once.
Listen, man, we're not talking about that. For fuck's sake, just keep that parked for now. But he's obviously going through the whole thing.
Got your back, Jay.
Blow by blow. Bad choice of words there. But I followed his channel before the Carano thing kicked off, and it was because of him that I started writing the script, the tweet. So it's entirely down to the streams that he did about it. Are the reason that I got into that topic and decided to research more about it. So they're obviously digging into that right now, and I dare say there'll be a fair few other people that were. But I know he helped her out with her tour around conventions, because she was terrified to go to the conventions, because the first one she signed up to, they tried to cancel her. Twitter mob tried to get the convention to kick her off.
Yeah.
And that's why she wanted him to go with her, because she was worried that she was going to get all this vitriolic and the line for people to meet her was longer than anybody else's.
Yeah.
So
no talks about that though.
Yeah, there you go. Man, that's just good to see. So good to see. So I think it's vindication of the highest order. I might even pay for a super chat. So listen, we are at the two-hour mark, so gonna start wrapping it up. Blue Collar, you're on again soon tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, basically whenever my co-hosts are ready, we're gonna pop in and I'll send you a link too. You can join us, but we're gonna check out Groundhog Day. So
yeah, that's right, Groundhog Day. I may pop in. Drop me the link to my Twitter inbox anyway, just so I have it. Okay, great stuff. Stupenzo, you'll be on that, presumably.
Yep. I'll also be on Jay's channel on Thursday to talk about Arcane season 3 or episode 3, season 1. Sorry. And yeah, Howard the Duck tomorrow.
Oh God, Howard the Duck. I've got
me and Andrew watched Howard the Duck. That is coming out Wednesday, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you in the chat at the premiere.
I'm embarrassed to admit I have the vinyl soundtrack.
I love the movie. I love the movie.
I hate the movie, but I will watch
the
Stupenzo talk about it.
You hate the movie?
I'm not a big fan of the. I saw the film twice at the cinema. But
compared to the crap these days, it is caviar on a. It's a good time. I'd take it over any Phase 4 Marvel movie these days.
Yeah.
I don't know what documents they're going through on Jay's channel, but it looks
probably the actual lawsuit.
Yeah, I think it could be the actual lawsuit. I think you might be right.
Yeah, like I said, dude, he's got the inside connection to Carano.
Fantastic, man. I think this is great. This could be the start of something big. Probably be a mini series about this in a couple of years. Carano could play herself. So, Luke, what else you got coming up?
Well, I'm trying to get Action Jackson done. I might maybe get that done on Thursday if I get a chance. But I've got Vex Electronica on Friday for basically a little breakdown of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Classic Sergio Leone Western.
Wicked.
Fantastic.
Don't forget that I'm the good, Stupenzo's the bad, and the ugly person's not here.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. All right.
I'm all three.
You're all three. Inside Man, you're back on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to be on with you on Sunday. But I think I need to thank Luke really, because he's my only follower on Twitter.
Well, that's nice.
Oh,
I didn't even know you were on. Didn't even know that you were on Twitter.
Promote your stuff.
I've got one follower, and yeah, that's Northern English Bastard. So under Retropolis now for my upcoming channel.
Is your channel called Metropolis now?
Retropolis now.
R-E-T-R. So that's you then. Yeah, I was wondering for a minute there.
Me.
What's your name? What's your name on Twitter, dude?
Retropolis now.
Oh yeah, you follow me. I'll be damned. Here you go.
Yeah.
You got 2 followers now.
I'm
number 2. I'm number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give Inside Man, aka
you can guess.
Retropolis now a follow. Give Retropolis now a follow.
I've given Retropolis now a follow also, and we'll put your We'll put your link for your Twitter in the chat.
Bless your heart.
There we go.
Me and Blue Collar love it when English dudes do American accents. That always makes us laugh. We're like seals. We're like clapping seals.
It's more prevalent now, isn't it, in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
I'm so stupid. I'm like listening to music right now, and I'm like, "What's that sound over there?" Like I thought there was a snake in my room.
There's a snake in my room.
Okay, well, next up from me, I've got my interview tomorrow with Peter Murnick. And this is interesting, guys, because I've spoken to Peter to prep the interview since I talked to you all. And he recently upsticked and left California. And he cited...
Can't imagine why.
Well, he was quite happy to cite the reasons why, and he's going to be quite happy to talk about them on the channel.
Awesome.
And so we won't just be covering his career. We'll be talking about the actors' strike. We'll be talking about the decline of Hollywood. We'll be talking about the gaps between rich and poor, both in society and in the Hollywood system. So it's going to be a very, very, very interesting stream. So Peter Murnick is tomorrow at the slightly earlier time of 8 p.m. Just to say to everybody, my Masters of the Air stream on Sunday is going to need to be later than normal. At the minute, I've currently got it scheduled for 9. It might even go up later than that. It might go 9:30. And so, man, is that still all right for you?
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll make it.
Okay, great. And Blue, if you want to be on there again, please come on.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, the reason it's going to go a bit later is simply because one Sunday in a blue moon, I get to hang with my friend Fiona and the Pooch, Freddie, or Sir Frednald as he's known. And we normally go to a country pub out of London. So to get back for the normal time of 7 o'clock is unlikely.
Dude, we're not your boss, bro. We don't need a letter about why you're late.
No. It's not just for you. I'm letting chat know because people. Yeah. I've got my little. I've got my little army of 11 people that semi-tune in on a regular basis. So
you just tell us you were doing the show at this time and deal with it.
Yeah. All right. So then we also have the interview. We got NIELSEN Ratings again next week, of course. Maybe that'll be a Gina Carano special. We've got Chew the Fat on Saturday. I think I'll probably keep this as it is. So it'd be great if some of the present company can watch these films in the interim. I've just seen The Dish recently, but I'm going to rewatch The Castle. 2 great Australian comedies. It'll be nice to talk about 2 films that are very light in terms of tone and content. I look forward to diving into those. Fantastic stuff. I think you'll enjoy those movies a lot. Then, of course, next Tuesday, I have the Ron Underwood interview, which is with the director of Tremors. Can't wait to talk to this guy. Again, don't forget, this is all subject to his schedule, but so far, so good. Because he is still working on Walking Dead. He just directed one of the episodes with Marshawn and Rick, the new spin-off number 20 or however many it is now. But I've quite enjoyed the recent Walking Dead stuff, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Okay, so that's it. Anybody else want to shout out anything before we say goodbye? Gary Bolter is in the house from Outcast.
Hey, guys,
all I'll say,
all right, man.
Watch Cocaine Cowboys 1 and 2 on watchdocumentaries.com.
Oh yeah.
Griselda. If you want the Griselda Blanco picture painted uncensored.
Yeah. So check those out. We might pick those up again next week because I don't want to go over 2 hours. But Gary Stepenzo is going to send you little iconic symbols of Blue Collar himself and Northern.
PNG
so on our
files.
fruit machine thing on the opening titles, it won't just be my face, but it will be theirs as well. Plus maybe like someone doing that or something. But yeah, cool.
That'll be me.
Right. Guys, that's it from me. I'm gonna jump over and have a quick look at what Drunk 3PO is saying because I'm very interested in this story.
half of YouTube's covering it because they're trying to do views up. You know.
Well, dude, man, I mean, he listen, he deserves it because he.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying just him, just simply because it's a trending thing right now. Happened an hour ago, so now of course everyone's going to be just type it in and you'll see 200 channels doing it.
Yeah. Hey, let's stay on. Well, I'm not going to stay on for another 4 hours to talk about that, but as tempting as it is, because I am very, very vestedly interested in that story. But we'll have a quick look at the actual lawsuit. Will that lawsuit be in public domain?
I don't know, probably.
Okay.
It seems like everything. I mean, the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing was so.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, man. Well, this has been a great stream. We've covered a plethora of topics as per usual. Just remains me to say thank you to my 4 guests: Northern Bastard, Blue Collar Loser, Stupenzo, and the Inside Metropolis Man. So
you're welcome, man.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to all their relevant channels if you haven't already. And we'll be back real soon.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.